This is Gulfspray Avenue on North Beach. It's a place where people come to park and access the beach. It's flooded today in high tides. And the way that the water gets in here, it's not from rain. All that water came in through this stormwater drain. And now the tide is going back down, and you can see the salt water going back down the stormwater into the bay. So this stormwater pipe is down underneath there is way too low. It's below sea level. You can see the bay is just on the other side of the beach. And then this is just salt water that has come not over the beach, but through this thing, and then flooded that way, filled it up, and now a few hours later, when the tide is going down, it's retreating, the water's coming, but it will never actually come dry. This will just stay until it all evaporates, because that parking lot area is downhill from this drain. So there's no way for most of this water here to get out. So this little red car is driving through what is actually salt water that has come up through our infrastructure. And he probably thinks it's fresh water, but it hasn't rained in several weeks, couple of weeks, and this water has come up through our high tide, not from rain. So this is all bay water that floods into our streets and floods the area, the neighborhoods in the low-lying area. All the streets here are too low. You can see this house right here. This guy has to actually drive through salt water just to get home. And what needs to happen to accommodate for sea level rise and just infrastructure that was placed too low originally in the 50s, all these streets need to be raised up, filled, and repaved. You can see that fire hydrant is partially submerged. This is the street, Seagull Boulevard, and this is Gulfspray. And as you can see, there's a car coming through this. This is all salt water that this car is having to drive through just to get to the highway. That is not good for your car. And they probably don't know it's salt water. They probably think it's rainwater, but it hasn't rained in a long, long time. And so what's happening is that the salt water is coming up through the stormwater system. This is an alley that's completely inundated by water. And a pretty major intersection. There's no, police signs or do not enter, turn around, don't drown signs at all. What this is right here, this is the stormwater outfall right here. And this Harbor Bridge construction project has, I guess, this straw boom around here to try to prevent debris from entering the stormwater system. So that's the stormwater drain right there. And it's obviously, underwater, not doing a job. And if there's some trucks come over here to drive through the water because they think it's really fun, and they don't know it's salt water. You might as well be driving through the Gulf of Mexico out on the beach. So the answer to this problem is really the only solution is to elevate all these streets with fill and this land that's underwater. Because this is not even a storm event. This is just a 3-foot high tide, 2.5 to 3 foot high tide. And all this land is at like 1 foot above sea level. So we need to elevate all this with fill, the streets, put in a better stormwater system, and allow these properties to actually have dry access to their homes and businesses, because otherwise, the property values just go way down, and it's actually a public health hazard and a public safety hazard.